Sometimes when you're looking at role-playing games, you're looking for something to generate a particular experience. A lot of games are built around the notion of we're going to make a very specific, focused experience. Most of the Apocalypse World games are built this way. The Blades in the Dark system is designed to generate a very specific experience. Some are much more open, but end up having a lot more rules to help you sort of simulate a range of things. D&D is like this, Traveller, Starfinder, GURPS, what have you. Things that have, they're often referred to as trad or traditional games, and they have a broad range of rules so that you can just sort of generate whatever. OSR, or Old School Revival, was actually built around, sort of using old styles of D&D rules originally to sort of generate the experience that you had when you were younger playing earlier versions of D&D. And it also plays into wanting a more open system that you can do whatever with, but keeping it light enough that you don't have a bunch of rules you have to learn. You don't have to look up things. Everything's pretty light. I'm going to recommend you check out a game system called Tiny D6. The tiny games are really interesting. These games are stripped down role-playing games. You roll a couple of D6. They have just enough rules for you to be able to run the game without having to have a rule for every situation. And it isn't limiting you too much by having these light rules, because you make calls and you sort of interpret based on the situation. They are released for various genres. Tiny Dungeons is obviously fantasy. Tiny Supers is what it sounds like. Overall, the systems are relatively simple, easy to pick up, easy to learn, and you can just use it as a base to do whatever you want. They do include some setting information. They even have supplements and adventures depending on what you're looking for. But for the most part, it's a really simple system by design. They're from Gallant Knight Games. You can pick them up relatively cheap in PDF form. You can get the print on demand through DriveThruRPG if you want a physical copy. But it's something to look at if you're looking for something that isn't as deeply involved as, say, a GURPS or D&D or Pathfinder. But you want something that'll just cover the basics so you can play around with an idea for a game. Tiny D6 is definitely one of those options.